All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going way back in time to explore the origin of cells,
Exactly, those microscopic wonders that make up every living thing.
including you.
You got it.
So think of this as a bonus round to what you're learning in Mr. Martin's IB biology class, using your textbook and lecture notes as our jumping-off point.
Right, and we're going beyond just the facts.
Oh, yeah.
We'll look at how scientists figured this stuff out, the detective work spanning billions of years, uncovering how life arose from non-living matter.
Like a puzzle, right?
A huge one.
And we might even bump into some mysteries that still have scientists scratching their heads.
Definitely some head scratchers.
See, so first things first, imagine early Earth.
Early Earth.
And I'm not talking beaches and palm trees here.
Nope.
More like scorching temperatures, no oxygen to breathe.
Intense UV radiation just blasting everything.
It's enhanced.
Like a sci-fi movie, right?
Totally. So could anything even survive in that chaos?
Well, it was extreme, that's for sure. Think volcanoes, a toxic atmosphere thick with carbon dioxide and methane, oceans constantly bombarded with energy from the sun.
Wow. It's hard to imagine life as we know it in that kind of environment.
It is, but that leads us to the famous Miller-Urey experiment.
Right. Like they bottled up early Earth in a lab.
Exactly. They simulated that early atmosphere
Uh-huh.
and zapped it with electricity to mimic lightning.
Oh.
And the results were groundbreaking.
They were.
Simple organic molecules formed,
The ingredients for life.
the very same, and they formed spontaneously.
So that doesn't definitively prove that's how life arose, but
No, but it was a huge clue that it was possible.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this primordial soup brewing, but hold on.
Hold on.
Cells are complex.
Oh, yeah.
With all sorts of intricate structures and processes.
Lots of moving parts.
So how do we go from these simple molecules just floating around to a fully functional cell? That's a giant leap.
That leap is what we call a biogenesis.
The biogenesis.
Life arising from non-living matter. And we don't have all the answers,
Right.
but we have identified 4 key stages.
Okay, lay them on me.
First, you need a catalyst to kickstart those chemical reactions.
Got it.
Then comes self-assembly, where the simple molecules start linking together, forming larger, more complex structures.
It's like molecular Legos.
Exactly. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
things get really mind-blowing, self-replication.
Whoa.
We're talking molecules making copies of themselves,
Yeah.
which is essential for passing on genetic information.
Because without replication,
You can't preserve those gains in complexity.
that's amazing. But how do you go from replicating molecules to an actual cell?
Good question. That's where stage 4 comes in, compartmentalization.
Compartmentalization.
Think about it. Lipid molecules, kind of like tiny oil droplets, form membrane-like structures in water.
Okay.
Now imagine those membranes encasing the self-replicating molecules,
yeah.
a separate internal environment.
A protocell.
You got it, a precursor to the cells we see today.
So we've got these protocells forming, but what about the instructions, the blueprints of life? That's where DNA comes in, right?
Well, not so fast.
Not so fast.
Most scientists think that before DNA, there was RNA.
RNA. Okay.
It can store genetic information like DNA, but it can also act as a catalyst to speed up chemical reactions.
It does double duty.
Exactly, and these catalytic RNAs are called ribozymes.
Wait, ribozymes. Didn't we just learn about those in Mr. Martin's class?
Yeah, you did.
They're part of ribosomes, right? The protein-making machines.
That's right. Ribosomes are crucial for building proteins, and they still use ribozymes today.
That's fascinating. A link between the very beginnings of life and the cells that make up every living thing billions of years later.
It's a pretty amazing connection.
Mind-blowing. So we have protocells, RNA doing its thing. What happens next in this epic tale?
Well, this is where we start talking about LUCA, the last universal common ancestor.
LUCA.
Imagine tracing the entire tree of life back to a single ancestor.
Billions of years ago.
Billions.
LUCA is that root.
The root from which all life branches out.
Wow. So what do we know about LUCA? Was it complex or more basic?
Good question. There are 2 main ways scientists are trying to understand LUCA.
Okay.
One is focusing on the minimal genome.
Minimal genome.
What are the bare minimum genes necessary for life?
The essentials.
Exactly. And this research suggests LUCA might have been pretty simple.
Simple.
Maybe surviving on just hydrogen and carbon dioxide?
Hydrogen and carbon dioxide. That sounds familiar.
It does, doesn't it? The other approach is looking for universal genes.
Universal genes.
Those present in all life today.
Oh, interesting.
And this leads us to a pretty unexpected place. Hydrothermal vents.
Hydrothermal vents, those are like underwater geysers.
Exactly, spewing out super hot, mineral-rich water from the ocean floor.
How could anything live in those conditions, even LUCA?
Well, hydrothermal vents are extreme, but they're teeming with life.
They are.
Imagine these vents releasing chemicals like hydrogen sulfide that some microorganisms use for energy.
So a totally different way of life.
Totally.
Hmm.
And some scientists believe that's where LUCA thrived.
So we've got these two contrasting images of LUCA.
Contrasting.
A simple organism using basic molecules.
Right.
Or a heat-loving extremophile hanging out by those scorching vents.
Like two sides of a coin, both offering clues to this mystery.
Incredible. So both approaches have their own strengths and limitations.
They do, but they're both crucial pieces of the puzzle.
But remember,
Remember.
LUCA is just the beginning.
Just the beginning.
We went from single cells to the incredible diversity and complexity of all life on Earth, including us.
And everything in between.
That's an amazing leap.
It is. How did we go from single cells to trillions of cells working together in a coordinated way?
Right, like how did that even happen?
Well, multicellularity is thought to have evolved multiple times.
Multiple times.
Independently, in different lineages.
Like different branches on the tree of life, experimenting.
Exactly. And it makes sense from an evolutionary perspective. Multicellularity offers advantages.
What?
Well, greater size and complexity for one. Single cells are limited in size, but multicellular organisms, they can grow much larger.
That's a big difference.
Huge. Think of a sequoia tree compared to a tiny bacterium.
That's a pretty dramatic difference.
It is, and that wouldn't be possible without multicellularity.
Right, so what else? Why else would cells decide to team up?
Well, specialization.
Specializations.
Different cells can take on different roles.
Forming.
Tissues and organs with specific functions.
You have muscle cells for movement, nerve cells for communication.
Exactly. Instead of one cell trying to do everything.
You've got teams of specialists.
Working together, like a well-organized society.
With different groups responsible for different tasks.
All contributing to the organism.
That makes a lot of sense. So this division of labor allows for greater efficiency and complexity.
Absolutely. Think about all the things your body can do because you have specialized cells working together.
Everything from digesting food to thinking.
It's incredible.
It really is. So we've gone from simple organic molecules to complex cells to the diversity of multicellular organisms today.
And it all links back to what you're learning in Mr. Martin's class.
About cell theory, biogenesis, and the diversity and unity of life.
It's a pretty amazing story, and it's important to remember we're still piecing it together.
There's still so much we don't know.
Which makes it so exciting. Who knows what discoveries are waiting for us?
And speaking of unanswered questions, we've talked about LUCA. But if it thrives in those extreme hydrothermal vent conditions,
What does that tell us?
what does that tell us about the possibilities for life beyond Earth?
Fascinating question. If life can emerge in those extreme environments, it opens up so many possibilities.
Maybe there are organisms on other planets using different energy sources.
And surviving in environments we can't even imagine.
Mind blown. This deep dive has taken us from early Earth to complex cells to the evolution of multicellular life. And now we're contemplating life beyond our planet.
It's a big journey.
It's amazing how these big ideas connect to everything, from the tiniest bacteria to the vast cosmos.
It really highlights the power of scientific inquiry, that constant questioning and exploring.
And speaking of discoveries, remember RNA's special role, both genetic information and a catalyst.
Oh yeah, those ribosomes are remarkable.
And they're still hard at work today, right inside our cells.
Inside our cells.
Ribosomes use ribozymes to catalyze the formation of peptide bonds between amino acids.
That's right.
Wait, so the same molecule crucial for the first life forms is still essential for building proteins today?
That's right. A direct link between the ancient past and the present.
That's incredible. It's like a molecular echo of those early stages of life.
A reminder that even as life has evolved, some fundamental processes have remained.
So, Mr. Martin, student, as you're studying cell theory and abiogenesis,
Remember,
you're not just learning abstract concepts,
Yeah.
you're delving into the origins of life itself.
And those origins are still present within you, in the workings of your own cells.
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
And as you continue your journey in biology,
Keep asking questions.
keep exploring and marvel at the interconnectedness of it all.
You never know what you might discover.
Maybe you'll even uncover the next big clue in the mystery of life's origins. Mr. Martin, student, as you're learning about cell theory in abiogenesis.
Yeah,
Remember, it's not just abstract.
not at all.
You're delving into the origins of life itself.
And those origins are still present within you.
Wow. In our own cells.
In your cells.
That's a powerful thought.
It is.
And as you keep going in biology,
Keep asking those questions.
keep exploring, and be amazed by how it's all connected.
Who knows what you might discover?
Maybe you'll uncover the next big clue in this mystery. But for now, share what you found interesting with Mr. Martin.
He'll be thrilled to hear about it.